All right, people, what's going on? It's good to be back. We are back in the house. And, hey, it's, Dave,
How you
what's
doing,
going
man?
on?
Been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
3 weeks. Wow.
We took a little vacation, a little time to slip away just a little bit. And, it's good to be back. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Let me get this cracked down here. All right, well, hey guys, let's just jump right in here, Dean. I mean, we've been gone forever. I mean, we took our vacation to Hawaii. How was your vacation?
Oh, it went good. I went to Iceland.
Iceland, okay. Reykjavik. That's a pretty nice place this time of year.
You want to go with me next time?
I will be going next time.
Yeah, it was big trip. I've been gone 3 weeks. So. What about you?
Same thing. I went to Scandinavia. Went over there and checked out a few things. Had some show stuff that we're doing over there. We're really pushing the envelope over there in those parts of the world.
Yeah. Well, I got a Warsaw, Poland here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Warsaw.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Warsaw, seriously, on a serious note, I watched a good movie the other day about the Nazis and how they kept the Jews in the Warsaw ghetto, piled them all in, and when they started sending them to death camps, and when they finally came to get the rest of them, the Jews from Warsaw fought back. It lasted a month against the Nazis.
I got into some JFK killer stuff again. I'm not even going to get started on that. Me and
Got
Mark,
into all that again.
yeah, me and Mark's watched some of that, and I got some new ideas for you. I'll share with you after the show.
All right.
So, guys, we appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out with us again. It's good to be back, and God is good, and it's given us an opportunity to share some news here with you guys and share some of our thoughts on the national championship game. Dean's going to be tomorrow. We're going to get to see Bama and Georgia play again for the 8th time. You know, seems like it's always Bama.
I know, it's just unreal.
If you're tired of seeing SEC games, play for the title, I guess these other teams just need to go out and try to build them a brand or try to do some better recruiting, and that's just about the end of that. So,
I don't know. I heard some people griping about it being in Alabama. Not griping, but just not happy with it. And I'm like, well,
Here
it's
we are,
in place to stop it.
We're back. We're back in the saddle. Applecast and Spotify got them cranked back up. Dane, let's talk about tonight. We're going to do some college basketball scores. We had some real shockers tonight. We're going to talk about some basketball scores, some local teams they're playing well. We're going to have a good matchup here in a few days. Spring Garden will be traveling to San Ron. We know that's always a good one. We'll be over there Thursday night maybe if we fit to go over that. Some NFL playoff pictures, kind of where a few teams are right now. There's games being played right now, so we're going to kind of go through that. And, of course, we will be breaking down every little tidbit piece, like I said, of the title game earlier,
right.
Bama and Georgia, part 64. Tell us about college basketball. There's some real big things going on right now, a few upsets. What's going on over there?
Well, yesterday was kind of crazy. Of course, Baylor's still number 1, but number 2, Duke, in Mike Krzyzewski's last season, got beat by Miami, which Miami's good. You're going to hear more out of them. I don't think they've lost a conference game yet. Some other ranked teams that got beat. Kansas lost to Texas Tech. Texas, 75-67. Texas lost to Colorado, 64-51.
How's that happen?
Kind of a shock. You don't hear much about Colorado's basketball. And the biggest upset to me, and that's because we're in SEC country, was Bama lost to Missouri, 92-86. They were not supposed to lose to Missouri.
How did that kind of go?
It just said that Alabama just didn't, I don't know, they just didn't have no sense of urgency, and I don't know, just didn't play well.
They just wasn't paying attention. You can go in these games and be expected to win, not like the title game because Bama's not expected to win. We're definitely going to get into that a little bit later. I don't know how that's working out. You beat a team by 20, then you're not favored the next time. But anyway, Missouri, looks like they just come in. They hit their shots.
Yeah. I don't know that they shot any better. They shot a little better from the line. Same amount of three-pointers. But Missouri jumped out to a 9-0 lead. They said Oates come out in the zone defense that he never does. And it didn't work. Which, I mean, we're not going to put it all off on him.
Well, this is just one game, and it's not like it's going to take them out of playing for the SEC title or you know.
I mean, they're 11-4 or 12-4.
You know, he may have been just playing with some ideas of maybe some things that he may want to do later.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know.
But he wasn't real pleased. But, you know, and of course the article said that for 30 minutes of the 40 minutes, Alabama did nothing. I don't know. Said their effort on defense was not good. But I don't know. Do you say that when a team shoots good? I mean.
Well, it just sounds like Bama just didn't play real good, and Missouri did.
Missouri did.
That's just kind of how. I mean, there ain't no many ways you could break it down.
But I mean, you know, you got the same shots. If they're not going, does it? What I'm saying is, we throw them under the bus too much. Maybe Missouri just shot the ball well. I mean, people get open looks every game.
That happens. That happens a lot.
They just hit them.
The Kentucky, I watched some of their game. They played down to the wire, didn't they? They lost one the other night.
Yeah, they lost the LSU though.
Yeah, I watched some of that. That was a good game. They got some fouls down there in particular parts of the game with kind of the clock kind of running down to get them on us. LSU capitalized. I remember Kentucky missing some free throws that could have put them close, and they come down, missed a few easy shots, and they just didn't, didn't perform.
They kind of got on Calipari about they were down one, and he didn't use a timeout with 14 seconds left, and they come down there, lost the ball. But I saw a team win yesterday that come down with 14 seconds left, down one, and they didn't call a timeout, and they won the ball game. But I think the thing that really got kind of people on Calipari was they asked him about it. And guess what he said?
I just do what I do.
No. He's like, I tried to call a timeout. So they go back and they watch the film. And guess what? He didn't do nothing. Which is fine.
Just don't lie about it. I mean, you're the head coach. Well, I mean, I ain't going to grill you over that, I guess. Well, they may, but.
Because there's two schools of thought there. You can call your timeout and give the other team time to set up something. Or you can go on down there and maybe catch him off guard and hit. I don't think either one of them's wrong. Do you?
Well, he's a Hall of Fame coach. I wouldn't probably second guess every little thing he does, but I do know Kentucky fans, and you being one, Kentucky fans are tough guys. They're tough on old Cal.
Yeah, he was just going to, they just thought he should have called it, but I think the main thing that got him was when, I tried, and it shows the video.
That was dumb. He shouldn't have said that.
No, he knows he's on camera. He's done things like that more than once.
Whoa. So the SEC, I mean, they're still looking good. Auburn's ranked in the top. They're in the top 10 right now. I mean, 10. Coach Pearl, he was on a game suspension or two, so Auburn's playing pretty good. Fired, yeah, he's still hanging around, so Auburn's still going to make a good run at this too. So we can look forward to seeing some of them play more.
14-1. Wow.
It's a good.
They play Alabama
Tuesday, guys.
I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday be the Iron Bowl. Go in there and check it out. Again, we thank y'all for stopping by. Of course, we always thank our sponsors. This is the end of the season for us, Dana. Our end of our regular season. Our sponsors have been trucking through with us forever. Warrior Gym, Torrey Colbert, big help this year. Come on board and help us get kids shirts and food cards. Scott Lloyd, always been there hanging out with us doing stuff. And of course, JR and April McKenzie. Without them, guys, the things for the kids that we do, it just wouldn't be possible without them. And we'll look forward to renewing some of them. And probably maybe adding some new sponsors coming into next season as we'll get into spring and the show starts. Right now it's kind of a humdrum time, and we just do some college basketball. Then by the end of February, in 6 weeks or so, we get a little Super Bowl thing. We'll talk about that, and we'll have a little Super Bowl special thing that we do. But we get into March Madness. We get into college basketball for real. We really enjoy that, and you guys do too. So staying on basketball, Dean. Let's say. Let me talk about this real quick.
All right.
Let me go over here on our Twitter page.
That's just a cold.
I
get them every day. My nose runs daily.
Here's some news, Dane. Check this out.
Right.
I think it's been interesting. You'll like this. Helena versus Chelsea and Hoover versus Auburn games have been scheduled for the 17th AHSA Kickoff Classic. Be interested.
Yeah, well.
Helena and Chelsea and Hoover and Auburn.
Hoover and Auburn, that should be a good game.
Shout out down here to Average Joe's sharing up on the page, their Twitter. Darnell Mooney has the 18th 1,000-yard receiving season in the Bears' history. He is the first Bear draft pick to do it since Alshon Jeffrey in 2014. So hats off to them.
Gadsden, Alabama.
Gadsden. I'll tell you what, that's big time.
I feel terrible about saying this, but I vaguely remember the name. But I
remember the name being talked about, some, but it's been a while. But hey,
Kirkpatrick was 5-star there, but I don't think Mooney was, or is it Moody? Mooney, but obviously he has gone and played college ball real well and gotten drafted and is doing a great job.
Jacksonville State men's basketball had to knock off a little rust today against North Alabama, but they come up ahead 65-55 right there. NFL season, this is the final for NFL season. We've still got some teams hanging around. We'll get more into that later. Josh Pate, late kick, we love him. Yeah, he's the GOAT. I mean, he's the guy that set the standard for what we do. Yeah. And if we try to be like Josh Pate and work for CBS Sports one day, that'd be awesome. But we'll just keep doing what we're doing here. This is what he had tweeted now. You can go on here and find me at Big Matt 1977. This is what he had said. Some heard this and said, there's already imbalance in college football. Well, what Nick Saban is telling you is, trust me, I can make it a whole lot worse. Because what they're talking about is we need some kind of national legislation to control this NIL deals. There will be an imbalance as to who dominates college football if it is not regulated. Dean, what do you think about that?
I agree, don't you?
Yeah.
That's just what Pate said.
Yeah, he's just retweeting what had came from Saban on an interview with Ross Dellinger. So,
I think. Yeah. I mean, I agree that something needs to change, don't you? Well, with the transfer portal, at least.
Well, the NIL deals, he's talking about,
he's just talking about
money.
NIL.
Money's going to be thrown around everywhere. I mean, these kids are being moved around for large sums of money, and we'll get into some of those later, like Williams from Oklahoma. He's just waiting for the highest bidder to pay off. I mean, literally, that's all he's doing. He's just waiting for the highest bidder to write him the biggest check that he can get, whether he's going to go to Auburn or Georgia or Ole Miss or wherever he's going to go.
Top 10 team. Oklahoma will finish in the top 10 because, they beat Oregon. Took Spencer Rattler's spot. Spencer Rattler transferred. And
yes.
I don't know. That's just
more news from Twitter. We got wide receiver Coleman commits to Jackson State. Guys, this is from
going to Jackson State.
Chris Hummer says that, Dean, that there's more 4-star prospects committed in 2022 there at Jackson State than at Nebraska, Arizona State, and even Pitt. What do you think about that?
That's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, Young getting it done.
Well, it's kind of a trend, and once you create something where it's like when one player ever comes and starts to go and you get a receiver, well, then receiver wants to play with another good receiver. Well, then you have a quarterback that wants to play and wants to throw the ball to good receivers, right?
Right.
Well, then you start building defense. Well, then you got corners that want to play with other lockdown corners and safeties and then defensive linemen. So what he's doing out there, he's building a resume, in my opinion, to take a job at, I don't know, Florida State one day or something. That guy's, their butt's always on the grinding board down there. They really hadn't got a...
I mean, they could have a good year next year, but he'll probably have to next year.
They just don't have a Bowden-like coach. They're looking for that guy. And Deion, guys, basically, you can say what you want to about him. He's building himself a resume right now. Yeah. And that's about it. I can just tell you right now.
I think he's doing a good job.
I thought he has too.
I don't know much about him. I mean, as far as I don't know much about it. I mean, I don't know what kind of person he is. I like him.
He seems to be genuine. He's, into his Christianity. He loves to share his walk of faith that he's carried with the good Lord for years. And hey, if he's doing things the right way, hats off to Deion.
Yeah. I knew he turned his life around over the years. Well, he was at the Cowboys, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dean, we got some local stuff here. We'll run through this.
All right.
boys and girls, Spring Garden.
Spring Garden's girls still rolling.
They are. They had an invitational over back a little while earlier at Navarro, Florida. They won 66-49. Wow. At this invitational down there, the girls played really well. Of course, led by the team shooter there, Ace Ashley, and of course the Kurt girl. And
I heard she was playing good. Of course, she got Wales too.
And Neely, and she's just such a. She's such a force down there to be reckoned with. Before we got out for break, and I'm going to get back in the swing going to some games probably this week. Like we said, we'll probably be at Sandrock. I'll go out there on Thursday, I think. She just goes out there and just plays really physical.
Oh, yeah,
and we watched them play that night. I think the boys played Scottsboro or something, and the girls had played Etowah. Dean, I'm telling you, those girls play great together. It's a good team game. Right. And it's good to see the girls in our county. Sandrock girls play so well together. Got a lot of seniors, and they shoot the ball so well. The other day they played, yesterday or the day before, they beat Westbrook 60-18. Ooh. Now I know Westbrook's kind of reeling. They lost some players and stuff, but still to be the kind of school that they are, 60-18. That's saying something.
They just lock them down on defense.
They'll be at Gaston, Dean, Tuesday. The boys won 44-30. Now let's move to Sandrock here. Sandrock boys 80-50 over Brindley Mountain. Back a little time back. They'll play Westbrook Tuesday, and the girls too. Home versus the Garden Man Friday. Friday night. If you ain't got nothing going on and you like high school basketball, this will be at its finest. The last game they played was decided by 8 or 10 points. I think they kind of got on them right there at the first. Spring Garden did. I know the girls got up on them a little quick there and just kind of stayed that way through the night. But it was just jumping, back and forth between a lead of 8 to go, then they'd get it down to 4. They come down and hit a few big shots. And Sandrock's got a lot of seniors. And if you're looking for somewhere to be Friday night, be at Sandrock.
How was Scottsboro in that tournament? Did you watch them?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
I'd heard they had a good basketball.
Let's see, was that I think that was the team that had a couple of the big guys. They just out physical, long arm, tall, long legged. Then they had 2 little white boy shooters that could just come in and swap in and out, and they could just do whatever they want to. They're just dropping threes. Yeah. They had a big kid in the middle, number 2. Just physical. That's what they're 6A, right?
Scottsboro is.
I think they're 6A.
5 or 6. I think it's the same as Fort Payne.
So, for them to play and try to hang out there with them, it was just too much. But Scottsboro is a 6A team. They play like one. It was a good game. I enjoyed my time out there. The Sandrock girls, the only loss, of course, we just mentioned, was to Spring Garden. And then they lost one to Hebron Christian Academy over in Georgia. Which, who's going to beat them? We're talking about private schools over at Georgia. Good gracious.
How's Centers girls doing?
Yeah, they won again the other night. I shared some scores and stuff. They're playing good. The boys played Jacksonville the other day. Yeah. You could have heard that on the WIS.
Did they?
I didn't see a final on it. I'm going to have to look on theirs. They're playing good. I think they play again Tuesday. I believe they're at home Tuesday. Go out there and check them out. I'll probably be out there Tuesday, then be out Sandrock Friday. Cedar Bluff boys and girls, they will be at Skyline, and Friday they'll host Valley Head on the 14th. So we'll see how they're doing. They're not winning a lot of games. We know they got new coaches, and they're just going through a big change. They got some good players. We've watched from Mac Fry to Isaac Bishop. He's grown up, and look at him. Of course, Flint and MJ, and everybody knows Bucky's the leader.
Right. I think they're 5 and 7. Something like that. I think they'll be fine.
And the girls are they're just basically starting from scratch.
Right.
They're just basically, Silver girls are just starting from zero.
Yeah. They got some young players.
Yes. Gales they'll be at Valley Head. Gales boys, they'll play out there Tuesday. So good luck to all our area teams, Center, Sandrock, Spring Garden, Cedar Bluff, and our Galesville teams. And it's going to be a good one, guys. Again, we'll remind you, Friday, if you ain't got nothing going on, I'm telling you, that's the place you want to be. You want to be out there and check out Spring Garden, Sandrock rival basketball. Football, too. Now, it's going to be a little different this year because Spring Garden is 1A for you football. So, but they're still going to play. So,
let's see how all that kind of pans out, and good luck to all of them. Now, we'll talk about. Let's just run through these NFL stuff we have here. Saturday, the Cowboys beat the Eagles 51-26.
Both of them going to go ahead.
Yes, I mean, we just talked about the Steelers and Ravens went to overtime. Steelers 16-13. Of course, congratulations, Ben Roethlisberger. Fantastic career. What a great career Ben has.
They kept their playoff hopes alive, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know the scenario, but there's a chance they get in.
Yeah. I'm a Steelers.
I mean, I like the Steelers. Yeah. I like Harris. Of course, I've always liked Ben Roethlisberger. I like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he's a good coach. A lot of people try to get him a lot of different places. I'm just from growing up around Dad. Dad loved Bradshaw, probably like your daddy did too. Mm-hmm. Well, enjoyed watching them play, and they've been part of the AFC, and they've won a couple of Super Bowls. Didn't they win one like his first year or two there when Ben came?
I think I want to say his first year.
I think it's his first year out there.
Won another.
So he's had a good career. He had some problems he went through, had some lady problems. Like all rich men usually, not all, a lot of rich men have those kind of problems.
Yeah, he had some incidences where he overstepped his bounds.
But he turned it around, said, hey, I'm sorry. He come out and apologized, my bad, I made a big mistake.
Yeah, he did.
And that's been
turned his life around
15, 20 years ago, so I think we've all moved on from that.
Well, some of them might. I've read a lot of negative articles about that this week.
Well, some people just don't have nothing else to talk about.
Ripped it apart.
What about the Lions and the Packers? I think Packers went down 37-30. The Titans pulled one out today, man. Looking for Derrick Henry to come back. He was at practice, I think, the other day. They were still in it, so they will go up 28-25. Looks like the Jags, the Skins, Vikings, the Browns, and I think the Rams may still be in too. Conference championship game is going to be January the 26th. Give us some more scores there. The Patriots and played the Dolphins. Panthers played the Bucks. How'd all that go?
All right, I was just going to tell you who was in right quick, and then I'll get to the scores. The Titans are definitely in. Well, crap. Chiefs definitely in. Bills, Bengals, Patriots. All those are definitely in, and the other two spots are going to come down. Colts was eliminated today. They're going to come down between the Chargers, Raiders, and Steelers. Okay, and in the NFC.
Say it again. The AFC, Steelers, Chargers, and Raiders, right?
It could two of those three.
Okay.
And on the NFC, Packers are in, obviously. Rams, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Cardinals, Eagles. And the other spot is...
The Saints and the Falcons they're playing right now.
Well, Saints. Falcons are eliminated, they say. And I'm fixing to look at the scores. 49ers and the Saints. Kind of vying for that seventh spot. Now let's go to scores here. Neffel scores.
Jets and the Bills played today too.
Right,
I'm a Bills fan.
Saints won. Seahawks are going to beat the Cardinals, which that's not going to make a difference. I'm not saying that 49ers and Rams are tied in overtime.
Whoa, 49ers and Rams tied up overtime.
First and goal at the LA 8 for the Rams.
That's why you hit the subscribe button, guys. Breaking news right here. Well, maybe we'll break something every show, Dane. Have you noticed that?
Oh, I know. No, so if they win this, I guess they're in. I don't know. The Saints won too. I don't know the scenario there. But the Dolphins are beating the Patriots.
What? Come on, Mac. Let's get it together.
They've got the ball. Which Patriots are still going to make the playoffs. Dolphins are.
The Bucks are on the Panthers, I would assume, too, right?
I don't know. A lot of people did not play, which a lot did. Now, I watched Kansas City yesterday. They played their guys the whole time.
Let's see.
Seattle's beating the Cardinals. Bills beating the Jets 27-10. Saints beat the Falcons. Titans beat the Texans. Vikings beat the Bears 31-17. Jaguars upset the Colts. Lions upset the Packers.
They've never beat Colts up there. And the Bucks did win 41-17 over the Panthers. Gotcha.
Right. And the Browns upset the Bengals, but I don't think Burrow played today. Let's see how this receiver did for Cincinnati. Had one receiver that if he had 150 yards receiving today, that meant all three of them would have gained 1,000 yards. All three of their wideouts would have had 1,000 yards receiving.
No, Bengals did not. It looks like Allen played. He was 15 for 29, throw a touchdown, so he did not play. And Case Keenum played for the Browns, 17 for 24, throw 2 touchdowns and a pick. So there you go. So there was no Mayfield or Burrow.
No. Jamar Chase played a little bit, so they did not get the 3 receivers with 1,000. Don't even look like they tried to, which that's fine. That stuff doesn't matter in the long run. You don't want somebody hurt. Which I don't want to get into that because we got people opting out. But
Nick Chubb yards, 58 yards, 6 average, had a 25 long just for you Georgia guys out there.
Right. He ended up with a lot of yards this year. I mean, probably another 13, 14, 1,500.
1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns for Chubb. So, yeah, he had another good season for and I'm sure he's going to come back and be just as great next year.
He's done good every year he's been in the pros.
5'11", 227 is where he's weighing in at. So anyway, that's kind of some NFL rundown, and we'll get more next week. We'll do more next week into that. Let's see check the Rams out here. So where was you telling me? There it is. 49ers and the Rams. Yeah, 2:48 left, still tied.
They've had first and goal.
Just kicked the field goal, 49ers 27-24.
Okay. So they did not. So the Rams will have a chance to come down and either tie or win, right?
What do you think about we're on NFL a little bit, I mean, we're only 30 minutes in and we're getting close to done before we get to the Bama game.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think about Matthew Stafford? How kind of had a resurrection of a year.
I think
he played good.
Great. And I think a lot of it's the system he's playing in. The receivers. I think he was always probably pretty good, but
4,600 yards for the year, to 38 touchdowns, 15 picks. That's 63 overall QBR. It's not real great. That looks pretty good for the Georgia guy.
Sean McVay. That's who he wanted, and of course perfect marriage there. I mean, they got a good football team.
Well, I heard stories. If you watch some NFL stuff or, checking out some things here and watch some people talk, they had like a little questionnaire. You may have heard this. Asked some receivers that's been playing in the league for 5, 6, 8 years. Right. Who throws the hardest ball? I mean, a lot of these receivers have moved around and have played for a lot of different quarterbacks. Right. And it's not Tom Brady, guys. The hardest thrower of the football, of all in football, right now today, is Matthew Stafford.
Oh, really?
They say he throws the laces off. He has a fantastically strong arm. He can zip it.
Huh.
Not even close. I mean, he said that Big Ben, a little years ago, before some age hit him, he could really sling the laces off of it, but Matthew Stafford is a sure enough gunslinger. He can throw the football.
He is. I mean, he was good in Detroit. I mean, Detroit's just,
They never had no team, no coaches, just never could
I know.
put
It's
anything
a tough
together.
place to play and coach. They fire coaches left and right, but I mean, I don't know how a coach is supposed to
Like the Browns, you had Freddie Kitchens up there.
turn it around.
He's a local hero around here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Labo and them down there. We used to go watch them. Labo and Freddie's daddy played football together.
They said Freddie did terrible, but I like this new guy, but I mean, they're doing about the same. I don't know. And they mostly just said, and they didn't blame it all on Freddie. They said Freddie Kitchens was a fine coach. They said they shouldn't have ushered him into the head coaching job.
He had a lot dumped on him, really quick. Let's look at Mac Jones while we're looking here. 3,500 yards on the year, Dane. 21 touchdowns, 12 picks. It's only a 54 QBR. Not very good. But he's broke a lot of records. He broke a lot of rookie records for, consecutive passes and those kind of things, and yards in a game. And you think he's done pretty good?
Oh, yeah. I think he's had a good year, and I think Tua come back and ended up having a decent year. Except for the last 2 games, I think he struggled. But, I think overall he had a better year.
I think they're live on CBS, 27-24. Dolphins are up
so
right
they
now.
May make the play. I don't know. I think they're eliminated. I did think I read where they're eliminated.
Tua Tagovailoa, 2,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Just under 50% on his QBR. He's had a kind of a bounce around year. He's
come back.
terrible.
He wasn't doing good.
Injury bug, bad man.
Yeah.
What's the deal with him?
I don't know, but now he came back, and after he returned, they won 7 straight at one time, and he played well. Had some good games.
I want him to do good. I've just never seen somebody be so darn injury prone, man. He just has a bad run of being injury prone. Tom Brady now, the GOAT, he's going to throw for 5,000 this year, Dean. 40 touchdowns. How many picks you think he's thrown this year?
11.
12.
How many touchdowns?
40.
And he just, guys, he's not like Benjamin Button. He's not aging backwards. He's aging forward. So he's 45 now, right?
Yes, he was born. He is actually 4 months. I'm 4 months older than him. He was born August. I was born April 77. He's listed him at 6'4", 225. That's a good size. That's about
how tall?
6'4". That's about when I graduated. I was about 6'3" or 220.
I don't understand. And I gotta say this, and I don't understand why him, and I'm gonna bring up LeBron. I know we don't have a ton of LeBron fans, but I don't see how either one of them are keeping up what they're doing.
I'm going to tell you what my opinion on that is, and you would agree.
Okay.
Sorry. It's working out. It's eating. It's food. Let's compare it. Let's compare it like this. Let's look at, since we brought up LeBron, we'll say MJ. All right, why, the lifestyle that Michael Jordan led, what kind of lifestyle did he lead? We've all seen the 30 for 30.
Gambling.
Yes, smoking, drinking.
Staying out late. Playing.
He just kind of enjoyed life, right?
Right.
So, and I think now, with all the stuff that we have, from all these YouTube videos to all these workout guys to all those type of things, LeBron, for example, and Tom Brady, they just take care of themselves now.
Yeah,
Players just do.
Yeah.
It's what's popular now. Going to the gym and living more healthy in this time and age of a virus that we're all dealing with, they have dealt with.
Right.
It's good to try to go to the gym and be in shape, and that's just what these guys do, and it's what's popular, Dane.
Well, it's working out for them.
God, it really has. LeBron looks great. LeBron could play.
He scored 25 points in 10 straight games. LeBron's sitting there like, what?
Dude, he's got 5 more years. If LeBron can't play 5 more, he does an exercise machine. Have you seen the one where it's the thing that hangs on the wall and you got he looks great. LeBron looks 30. He looks 30.
Well, what is
I'm 28.
He's 38 nearly.
He looks 10 years. He looks 10 years younger than what he is. And Tom Brady too. Those workouts. Remember this documentary he had, where he brought his trainer into his house and they went back and showed it, and it was showing what he eats. And he's like, like me, I eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning and stuff like that, and fruit. And this guy's like beating on him. He's like over his back, hitting him with pads in the ribs, and he's out there scrambling around with pads on and dragging tires. And he's 44. Guys, Tom Brady will be 45 this year come August. Okay, I'll be 45 in April. I just don't think that I could go out right now.
Right.
Today was my first day back at the gym after 2 weeks of the sickness.
5,000 yards.
Todd, I couldn't imagine making 5 tackles.
Could we throw 5,000 going back and forth to each other?
No.
In a week?
No.
I thought about just me throwing to you. You thought that.
I don't think I could. My shoulders, my back.
I don't expect him to go downhill anytime soon either.
Well, Max Kellerman, God bless him, he fired him from ESPN finally. His ideology of things are
he's way out. He blamed which I love Myles Garrett. He had a great year, but he blamed that Myles Garrett fiasco on the quarterback.
Yeah, they're losing, and he's just out there throwing the ball, and we ain't gonna get into that. But,
he said he should have went after it.
But Myles Garrett, Max Kellerman had told Stephen A., and you've seen it, the skits, he's going to go right there one day and just, bam, he's just going to fall off a cliff, and it'll just be one day it's going to happen. This is about 4 years ago.
Yes.
He was suspecting him to fall off a cliff in 2019, 18.
Yeah.
And, dude, these guys may win another. Now, remember, he just won a Super Bowl. And he's got Gronk playing with him too. And they do have a good defense, and Bruce Arians is probably one of the best coaches in the league. I'm just telling you.
And they got
I don't know. I mean, who's going to beat them? Let's just.
I don't know. Well, it didn't help Brown.
I like the
losing
Bills.
Godwin. It didn't help losing Antonio Brown, which we won't get into that.
Yeah, we can get into that.
But I just don't understand that.
Let's go into Antonio Brown. Hashtag AB. Hashtag AB. What's your? I don't know. We're talking pro football.
They tried to make him play hurt.
Okay, now I did hear that later, but now why didn't that come out at first? Why didn't he come out at first and say? Because he looked like, for me, now this is just my perspective from these old four eyes right here.
Arian said he just wouldn't go in the game.
It didn't look hurt to me when he was doing jumping jacks in the end zone out there up in New York. Did it look hurt to you?
No. It says something about some ankle chip. I don't know. But then he gets on there and talks about why is he not getting money, same type of money Gronk is getting. Because
he's Gronk. He's like a 7-time Super Bowl champion. AB is good, but let's just slow down now. He's not Gronk.
Well, I mean, but he's on a
behavior
plan.
AB just got signed out of sheer love because Arians loves Tom Brady and he trusts Tom Brady. That's the only reason you have a job, AB. The only reason is because Arians trusts Tom Brady. Tom went down and said, hey, man, let's give this guy a job. I mean, look, we're out of receiver. What's his name? Got hurt. We're out.
They got Evans still.
So let's throw him in there. Let's give him $1 million for the year, and we'll give him another $1 million if he makes so many yards. Well, he was right there at it, and he sabotages himself, guys. Every time this happens, every time AB feels like when he knows, not that he's needed, but after he's already got in and got under your skin a little bit, when he knows it, he blows it. It's like he consciously blows it for himself.
I love the fact that all these 25 and under guys around here take up for him.
I don't know what there is to take up for him. He's got mental problems.
And I love you guys. I really do. But, I mean, I saw it all week. And I'm not going to say any names. They're all from here.
Well, you just remind yourself what you just said. How would you say they were?
I'd say 25.
Okay, at 25, you don't know nothing. You still got
30 and under.
You still got
up for him.
You still got wet Similac.
I quit too.
You got wet Similac behind your ears at 25, brother. Let me go ahead and tell you. Let me break it down for you, old big man, because I didn't know crap at 25. And when you get 45 almost, you find out you still don't know nothing.
Well, there's a good chance that Brown's lying.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a liar. Anybody that steal from you, guys, let's give some old big man advice here for you. Just sit down while you're watching this right now. If somebody will steal from you, they'll lie to you.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Your thief is a liar. Thief is a liar.
Shannon Sharp said it was just and Shannon Sharp's a black man.
I love Shannon Sharp. I agree with everything he said. He's been through it. I have not.
He said
Shannon's
it
been
was
through
ridiculous that anybody was making excuses for Brown.
And I take his word for it because he is a. Shannon Sharp was great. Maybe you wet Similac guys, 25. You do not know who he is. Trust me. And when he gives some advice and from what he said, and I agree with him on mostly everything he talks about, except for LeBron. He gets a little carried away. I think he's got a little bit of a man crush, a little bit. That's okay. LeBron is good. He's just not the best ever dribble a basketball. So I could go along with that. I could go along with everything that he said.
He did not agree with this.
It did go final.
Millennials.
49ers win 27-24. That's final.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're eating.
Who's there? Garoppolo's? He's still slinging the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a little take on AB. And we just feel like, honestly, Todd, I'm just going to give you I kind of feel sorry for him.
I mean, I do too.
I think he needs prayer. I think he
he's took some licks. I think that he got took out.
Oh, he got destroyed that hit. Yeah, that was bad.
And he's never been the same since. I mean, they've got proof. They've got one incident before the perfect hit in his NFL career and 25 since.
Yeah, he scrambled his head there, and he's what you got to remember. Y'all can go look how his size. I mean, AB's not even. He may be 6 foot tall. Okay, he's not a big guy.
Right.
I mean, he's like what 6 foot 180.
Yeah.
He's an athlete now. I'm not taking away from his athletic ability, but he really has something wrong, guys. He really has some mental problems. I'm serious. He needs help. He needs to go see somebody. He needs to see his preacher. He needs to go find his grandma or his uncle or somebody, anybody. Me, I would love to sit down and talk to him. I would listen to everything he's got to say, and I promise I would give him some great advice. But until he's ready to listen and open his heart and be a man as in when like when you give your heart and soul to God, when you have to just like lay down in the floor and just give yourself up, nobody's gonna be able to help him. Nobody's gonna be able to help him until he's ready to commit to, you know what, I really need some help. They wanted me to play injured. Okay, whatever. Why leave in the middle of the game? If that's the case, I'm not calling man a liar. I don't know him. Don't know his soul or his heart.
Oh, he said that cut.
But so now the story is, tell me if I'm right. In the middle of the game, Arians comes to him and says, "You're done. Go ahead and drop your stuff."
Pretty much. Yeah.
But he's never done that before, and reporters like Skip or Stephen A. that don't play the game but know the game better than anybody that we can think of for the league. I mean, not for him.
They're not taking up for
no, because as reporters, they're saying, "I've never." Now we're talking about Stephen A. and Skip. Skip Bayless has been reporting sports news since the late 70s, okay? From New York to L.A. to Texas. Skip's been everywhere. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, but facts are facts. Skip Bayless is one of the best news sports reporters out there. He's been doing it forever. And when he says, "I've never seen anything like this," so if AB says, "Well, I was injured, my daggone ankle's chipped, and they want me to go out there and play," and Arians just says, "Drop my pads," you're lying.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that. Just all we can go by is what we know. And from past things that we've seen happen, never seen Arians or any coach tell a player to drop their pads in the game. AB, are you saying, is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Saying,
that's what he said, pretty much.
AB is saying that Arians told him to drop his pads in the third quarter. You're done.
Yeah, go in the game. No, I can't, coach. I'm hurt. Go in the game. I can't, coach. I'm hurt. Well, you're done. So that's why he did.
So, and what we need to remember now,
Everything he did.
we need to remember this, and we'll move on. What does the coach have to go by? Well, if the players tell him that he's hurt and he can't play, then he shouldn't play. We agree with that.
Right.
But all the coach has to go by is no more than the story of Drew Brees' knee injury when Saban is at Miami. Well, I don't know about Drew Brees, coach. We may not be able to play him because of his knee. All right, well, we can't take him. Well, come to find out, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Right. But Nick Saban didn't know that at the time, because what I'm getting to is all the coach knows is what he's getting from his doctors. So if Arians is not getting anything from doctors saying, "Hey, AB's hurt, he can't play in this game," then he's expecting him to play.
Right.
And then he should say, "Coach, I'm hurt. You got to go play. Coach, I'm hurt." All right, well, you're done then. Okay, well, we'll talk about it after the game. Okay. And then Arians goes back to the sideline to coach the game. When the game's over, then it could come out later, "Hey, I'm hurt." And it saves his own face to say, here's his press conference. "Well, I just wasn't 100%, and had a damaged ankle, and I'm just gonna have to drop it out for the rest of the season. But I appreciate the chance that the coaches give me here, and Tom, appreciate him for giving me a shot here to play here too." That's great, but he don't do that. You throw your pads off and stuff up in the stands and cuss some of the fans up there, say something ridiculous in the third quarter.
But that's okay. Now, a lot of people around here would have done that.
No, they wouldn't. Yeah. Well, they probably would have. I mean, when you're acting like a 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20,
well,
25.
They wouldn't have done that. Just like that. I mean, I don't want to get into Yellowstone, but I put something about Beth Dutton on Facebook, and 12 women from around here come on here and said, "I'm just like her." I'm like, "No, you're not.
Oh, she's crazy. Yeah,
there ain't nobody around here like her."
We ain't going to get into Yellowstone. I can talk about it. She's psycho.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think a lot of people from around here, sports fans included, would have done what Antonio. That's what you got to look at. Would you have done what Antonio Brown did? No. No, you wouldn't have.
The kids think they would because they're young and they're got Similac behind their ears still. They don't really know what they're talking about.
Or even adults, grown men.
They're just talking about it.
Yeah.
Dean, let's talk about a few. He's talking about Williams there. We're going to get into some college stuff.
Right.
Let's get into some college stuff. We already know about Bo Nix. We broke it the night of the show. Mm-hmm. Calzada.
Auburn.
Max Johnson from LSU.
A&M.
Slavas from USC. Going to Pitt. Emory Jones from Florida.
Where's he going?
I don't know. Right now, as of the 6th, I was told nowhere. He's staying. Right now. Now, that's been a couple of days.
That's going to South Carolina.
He is currently at South Carolina. The Williams from Oklahoma. Let's talk about him. 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, led his team to 11-1 record this year. 11-2.
I think he might have won. I think they lost one of them with Rattler, didn't they?
Yes, I think that's why he got pulled.
So he only had one loss.
Auburn, Georgia, USC's in the mix. My money leans towards USC because
I can see
Lincoln recruited him.
There. Yeah.
And how much money does USC got to throw at him?
Plenty, I would think.
More money than anybody besides Notre Dame.
Right.
They got USC's got the jack. They got the money to pay to get the players out there. But Auburn's supposedly in the mix. I don't know how they're going to have any more money left after they done paid the Calzada to come out, and they got a running back supposed to be coming too from somewhere. I don't know how it's going to work. Georgia.
I don't understand why these kids are bailing. I don't know why Nick's bailed. I don't know why Calzada bailed. He beat Alabama this year. He did a good job. They say the guy behind him's better, but
yeah, he's good.
I don't know that he's better.
I can understand. We could get into talk about why Nick's left. I would assume, and you would too. Dean, how many nights on this show did we, as Alabama fans, now we cover all the SEC teams around here, and we're Bama fans, but how many nights did we take up for Bo Nix on this show against Auburn fans? Yeah. So if you got your own fan base, it's just dragging you around.
Oh, even when you're playing good? You know,
of course you won't allow him.
I'm not. Well, he's a business owner around here, but was always putting on Facebook about Bo Nix's unbelievable amount of interceptions. Dude, he threw 7 interceptions. I mean, it got to the point where it was comical. The jokes didn't even make sense. They're getting beat 43-37, and it's Nix's fault.
I could see where.
And they had 560 yards, and he threw for 300, but they gave up 43. But it's his fault.
That you're making my case. That's why Bo Nix left, because his own fan base just ate him up and destroyed him.
They did. I've never seen him do a player like
that.
They never won another ball game after he went out.
No, at his freshman, did he beat Bama, Iron Bowl? Okay, I mean,
watch what you wish for.
And it's going to bite Auburn, because they're going to be a 6 to 8 win team for the next many years. If they don't get their head out of their butts and stop being counterproductive, and maybe some of the money, some of the boosters that we've all heard stories about at Auburn, and maybe some of that slowed down. But guys, you got to recruit, and they did pick up a lot of transfers, some transfer portals, but a lot of guys from transfer portals from JUCO schools are not going to be able to compete, because I ain't got to remind Auburn fans know what they got to compete with. They got to compete with old Daddy Saban up the road. Not only is it your in-state rival, but they're kind of in the middle of a dynasty right now. So if you want to poke the bear, and they do every 2 or 3 years, they'll get a shot in. They almost did this year. Because Bama overlook them. They just not focused on the game. You've got to compete with Alabama like everybody else does. That's what everybody else has to do. And speaking of Bama, O'Brien, I told this the other night, he's supposed to interview for the Jags to replace Urban Meyer. I don't know how that's going to go.
He's done a good job this year. He's also took some heat from fans.
What about Levy, the offensive coordinator from Ole Miss, going to Oklahoma?
I didn't know
call plays. He's been a great.
Call it preventables.
Yes, been a good play caller for Ole Miss.
I thought Lane Kiffin called the play.
Well, this guy, he's his right hand man, and I'm kind of excited to see what Oklahoma's going to throw out in the pile next year. We're going to have a defensive head coach.
Great.
He worked for Stoops for 4 or 5?
Yes, a long time.
4 or 5 or 6 seasons.
It might have been longer than that. I don't know. He was co-coordinator with his brother, with Stoops' brother, and then he was the coordinator, and then he went to Clemson. I don't know how long he's been at Clemson. I don't know. I don't know how long Venables has been around, but he's obviously a good assistant.
Well, he's turned down several jobs.
Yeah.
Now, Lanning, the defensive coordinator from Georgia, he's going to be the head coach at Oregon. We know that. Yeah. You see that working out?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
He's going to have Bo Nix for quarterback, so.
Where did Cristobal go?
Miami. He's back home. That's his stopping ground.
I don't know how Lanning will work out. I have no idea.
It's going to be his first head coaching shot, so we'll see how that turns out.
I don't know that it'll be any better.
We'll see how.
I don't know if it'll be worse.
See how everybody does.
You ready to get into the big?
What?
Huh? Oh, we're done. Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you guys for tuning. All right, tomorrow night we got about 10 minutes left on the podcast, but we can go as long as we want to. Well, I'll just go ahead and stop it there. Let me just go ahead. All right, appreciate you, podcast, Applecast people. If you want the Alabama-Georgia debate game, go ahead and click on over on the next. Go ahead, just let it play. It'll play on through. I'm gonna go ahead and start another one. Thank you. We'll save it. And we'll do. All right, just hang on. Bear with me 1 second here. We'll do local and college. Local and college scores. All right, add to recording. All right. Tools. All right, now we're back on. All right, what's up, Spotify, Applecast? Appreciate all you podcast people for listening in. And let's see. I guess we'll get into Alabama and Georgia. So let's just first say last time they played, what was the score?
41-24.
41-24. I was going to say 42. It's 41-24. Bama beats Georgia by 20. Bryce Young has a field day of running around, seeing the ball out of the right side of his ear hole, pitching it to his running backs.
Fumbled, got right back on it.
They run the ball fairly well. What they have almost 200 against rushing, 180, 200 rushing.
I don't know. I think he had 536 total.
He threw for like
400.
Yeah, 385 or so. Rushed for maybe 200. So on the Georgia side of the last game, Dean, what did you see of the SEC title game? How'd that match up to you?
What are you talking about?
The SEC game.
About Georgia?
Yeah, how'd they play in that game?
I thought that they got something with old Bowers there.
Wow.
Of course, which I'm sure Alabama's trying to. I'm sure they're working on that. Or have. I mean, it's over with now, but I'm sure they've worked on that.
He burned everybody. He did to Michigan, too.
Yeah, he did. Of course, Pickens needs to.
He's a big part. Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know if he's able to.
I think he's ready.
And I thought Bennett played okay after his interceptions. But I don't know. He just can't make any mistakes, and he's not been that. He don't need to make any mistakes against Alabama, and he has been.
The last game he threw 2 picks, right?
One was a pick 6.
Yeah, you don't want to give Bama you don't want to give any team any kind of point. So I guess then after we've acquired the last game, we've seen what happened in the last game. This time, Georgia is favored again after getting beat by, let's just say 20. I'm just going to say 20. Bama wins by 20, and Vegas favors Georgia by 3. Why?
Just because it's a rematch, and they feel like they're even. But still, you'd think Alabama would still kind of beat them.
What? Who?
Still
tell me. Okay, all right. I'm trying to play devil's advocate because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm an Alabama fan, but I'm just trying to be a conscious, realistic person to think this team got dumped by 20. Mm-hmm. So play the other side of it, Dean, and tell me why. Tell me why Georgia's favored by. Why does Joey the Fish? Why does he favor Georgia?
Well, they obviously just think that.
Just because of the old cliche thing. It's hard to beat a team twice. You just can't do it.
That's got to be.
But if anybody can do it, it's Saban. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people beat people twice all the time. I mean, do they not?
Yeah. What? So why is
it's hard to beat somebody 3 times.
Why is Georgia favored by 3? Tell me. Give me some type of Joey the Fish, man.
All right. I'm just going to say that the perception is that Georgia got shocked. They wasn't ready. Well, now they're so focused and so prepared, and they're going to fix what was wrong, which would be stopping Bryce Young. Mechie's out. Job's out, who's a corner. And they can double-team Williams now. And basically, they're not worried about Robinson, which Robinson runs good, but I think Georgia, we feel okay about our the rush. And I think that's the way they're seeing it. So we're going to favor Georgia. They got an edge because they're going to fix whatever they couldn't do against Young the first time.
So you're saying it's Georgia's to lose, that that they've seen what they needed to do to win last time. Right. They did not. So now they're going to
fix it.
Prepared. So coaching is going.
And Alabama has nothing to fix.
No, if they play the same way they did, you would assume they would win the game.
Except for stopping Bowers. You know, and I'm sure.
Well, let's look at this. Let's think about. We'll do this first. Alabama's last couple of years, they've lost, 4 games in 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Now, in those games, let's talk about some of those games. Or the scores of those games, what I'm really looking at. When Alabama lost, what was the opponent's score in those games? We take a collection of all those scores. The other team averaged about what? 40, 36?
When you talking about when they lost?
Yes.
Well, yeah, Clemson beat them 35-31, 44-16. A&M scored 41. The least I've ever seen them get beat. Auburn scored 48 one time.
Auburn beat us 27-24 or something. What Bo Nix is that game?
Well, Ole Miss beat them 22-17 one time. But then in 1 year, Ole Miss beat them 40. See, yes, you got to score a lot of points. 22 is the least I've heard.
The Ohio State game.
They scored 40 something.
Okay.
So that brings me to this. Then, in the collection of points scored, then we would assume, and all we can go by, and here's how we do kind of
have to hit 30.
Our scores of how we kind of pick games. Mm-hmm. We would assume, just collectively, by a collection of those games that Bama lost, Georgia needs 6 touchdowns. Let me get a... All right, Georgia needs 6 touchdowns. I'm a writing kind of guy. I like to see things as I write them out here.
Well, they're thinking if their defense plays lights out, they can get by with 4.
1 quarter, 3rd, 4th quarter. Let's do this. Let's just have a good time, man. We ain't done in 3 weeks. All right.
We got this laid out here. It's just a piece of paper. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 drill across the top. It's got Bama and Georgia on the left side of the column. So we're just saying this will be quarters. Now, the first quarter, and we're talking about to Georgia be able to win this game since they are favored. They're going to have to score at the end of the game. Mm-hmm.
Let's give them 30.
36?
35, yeah.
Okay, so Georgia to get to 35 at the end. Mm-hmm. All right, and we'll say Bama only has 31. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Mm-hmm. And Georgia beats Alabama 35-31. Now, let's undo that and reverse it. Now, how is Georgia going to get there? Well, that's
you better. I think you better hope
5 touchdowns. All right, that's 5 touchdowns. Okay, and Bama have 4 touchdowns and a field goal. All right, so 5 touchdowns in 4 quarters. So we'd assume Georgia probably need to come out. So at the end of the first quarter, we'll probably say the score will need to be
14-7 at least.
Okay, let's do that. 14-7. All right, and that's going to take that down 2 touchdowns. So we're going to take 2 from that. That'll leave 3 now. All right.
Yeah. 3 touchdowns. They can score 4.
All right, Bama's got 1. They're going to have 4. So that's going to take it to 3. All right. Second quarter. What are we looking at for second quarter? End of the second quarter.
At the end of the half, 21-17. How's that sound to you?
21 Georgia. All right, so you're going to take
that final's going to be 35.
Okay, so that'd be another. They're going to get 1 touchdown in the second quarter, and you're going to say Bama gets a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah.
All right, touchdown and a field goal. All right, there's their field goal. All right, field goal's gone. They got 2 touchdowns left. Georgia had 1 touchdown, so that leaves them 2 touchdowns to go. All right. Now it's halftime. They come out and make their adjustments. It's 21-17. Georgia's defense has played better. Now we're forecasting. Davis decided not to take the night off like he did in the SEC title game. He decided then the second quarter, he was on the sidelines huffing and puffing.
Right.
That was the biggest letdown to me. So before we get into the next half, we'll say the biggest letdown for me in the last time they met was Georgia's defensive line. They just didn't play good.
Right.
They didn't play it. No, they did. They just.
We don't know why. They might have just got mad. I don't know.
They couldn't get any pressure on Bryce. And if Bryce is going to stand back here and throw the football, I mean, if any quarterback, at least a pretty good one, now we know he's a Heisman winning quarterback, he's probably going to have a pretty good night if he can stand back here and clip his toenails.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we can just say
he
that.
Definitely is.
So after halftime, It's 21-17. They're going to come back out. Now, third quarter, we'll say Bama gets the ball.
Yeah.
And Bama scores.
They go up 24-21.
They go up quick. They get a touchdown.
They hold Georgia scoreless.
In the third quarter.
Yeah. Then Georgia takes on 2 last. I mean, that's just a good scenario.
All right. Then Bama would have, Georgia's got 2 touchdowns left.
Mm-hmm.
So Georgia's going to have to do what they've never done. They've only scored 1 touchdown against Alabama in the second half in the past years and years and years and years.
Yeah, I know they didn't.
Not in years. The 17. So
yeah, they scored. It was 13-0.
Well, they scored like 1 time.
One. Last year, 41-24. I'm talking about in the regular season. They didn't score after that. They scored 1 touchdown after the half.
That's what I'm saying. So Georgia will have to do the remarkable and score 2 more touchdowns to make it. Then this score would give them 35.
31.
And Bama would have, they didn't have a field goal. 2 more.
They just scored again. Alabama scored 1 more time that quarter. Georgia scored twice before. That's what we're saying.
Now, Bama still has, they got one touchdown left, so they'll score another one to make it 31, and we said 31-35. So it would appear, just by our chicken scratching what we're doing here, which don't mean nothing. I'm trying to give Georgia a chance to win.
Right.
I just cannot see Stinson Bennett throwing 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against Alabama. I just can't.
I understand that. You're saying if they're going to win it, Alabama's got
We got
to have a punt return. They got to have a fumble return. They got to pick Bryce and run it back.
The only way that's happened, it's not Bennett. The only way this fourth quarter 2 touchdown magic trick, for them to even, they're going to come over in the third quarter and probably not score. That'd probably be very accurate because they hadn't.
No.
Georgia just cannot score after halftime against Alabama.
No.
So for that to happen, maybe instead of 0 for the third quarter, maybe they get a pick 6.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody slaps the ball down and they scoop it and score.
I don't see Georgia. I'm going to go say that I don't see Georgia winning this in a straight up game. And what I mean by that, I don't see them winning it without some big play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about like by a defense or a special team.
Yeah, special teams.
Yeah.
Those special teams plays, man, those are the ones that spark life. Didn't A&M had one? Remember
They had a kick return.
Bama scored and they kicked the ball
Yeah.
A&M and he took
That was the difference in the game.
a chain.
Yeah.
He takes it down and scores, didn't he?
I just don't think this Georgia team can beat Alabama straight up by scoring 5 offensive touchdowns. Now, can they do this stuff, what I'm talking about on defense? Of course. But I think they have to. I think that'll be the difference in the game if they win. I'm not saying Georgia's going to win. I honestly don't think they will. I think it'll be close, but I don't know. Some of that's that Bama.
Crimson factor.
Yeah. They just win. I mean, things go their way. They just do. It's the way they play, the way they carry themselves, whatever. It just goes their way. I mean, they fumble the ball. I thought somebody put a joke on there about a coach scratching his head, and he said, when you've watched Alabama fumble 13 times and get every one of them back.
Ooh.
I mean, it's the truth. Every time they fumble, they get on it. But I will say that if Alabama gets beat, those things, they're going to lose fumbles. They're going to give up a big play on it. Or Bryce Young's going to throw a pick 6. I do not think Georgia beats them 35-31 with Stetson Bennett driving down the field 5 times. Driving the team down the field 5 times.
No, I wouldn't.
Hang on a second. Guys. All right, go ahead.
I just don't think they beat them straight up.
I agree.
Yes, with a big play, something crazy, which that's part of the game.
That to make this game interesting and for it to unfold as we can try to say it here. I mean, look, we even got Georgia coming out first quarter, up 14-7 at the end of 1.
Right.
So, we feel like Kirby adjust to Bryce and the guys at the offensive line. Maybe Alabama's going to have to change their snap count. They're going to have to change some things up front. Now, here would be my take on it. Everything you said is true. I agree. It's going to take a fumble, a punt, return for touchdown for Georgia. Yes, something weird. And that's just saying how good Alabama really is. And that's why I cannot understand why Joey the Fish has them favored by 3. That don't make any sense. What we're just laid out here, they know this stuff. What you just explained, they know that. There's no way they can feel like they're going to keep it close, and at the end of the game, Georgia goes down and kicks the field goal and wins the game. What are you talking about? Bryce is going to have to just play like he usually does. Our offensive line is going to have to make plays as they usually made. The pressure is on Georgia because we've already beat them.
Right.
So
I don't think the pressure's on Alabama.
I don't either. I think a lot of people probably won't. Uncle Lou says in this contingency thing that he's put out that he feels like people want Alabama to win because if they do, then they can continue to have fuel against Georgia to continue to type out things like 1980.
I don't think nobody wants Alabama to win.
Alabama's hated more than anybody. Everybody's sick of Alabama winning.
Nobody that pulls for Alabama is pulling for them. I wouldn't think. I mean, I wouldn't be. Would you?
Auburn fans are definitely pulling for Georgia. I mean, everybody would be pulling for Georgia. Everybody's sick of Alabama winning these games. Now, and I'll end it with this. That's my take on it, too. I mean, it's going to take some kind of weird special teams plays for Alabama to come out and try to win this game. I think Bama's going to come out hot. I think they're going to come out and go up 14-0 pretty quick. By halftime, it's going to be a 17-10 Bama, 17-10. I'm going to say Georgia's 10-17. And then Georgia puts up some kind of fight. They come back out. Bama goes to sleep in the third quarter nearly every time. And Georgia gets back in this thing. They score twice and make it 17 to, say, 10. Say 10 be 20. 17-20. Another field goal, another touchdown. Going into the fourth, it's going to be probably a 3-point game. But Stetson Bennett has got to be able to control this thing. I just can't see. I don't understand how he could come out and win this game. And their defense, Nakobe Dean and all those guys, they're great.
They are.
What happened to them last time? We just didn't see them. Their names were just not mentioned. Davis or any of those guys. I mean, you're right. Pickens going to have to step it up.
Power did good. That was it.
He's smoking everybody. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
This kid's like 18 years old, right out of California.
He did good early, but then they never went to him again, which he may be hurt. Bennett struggled. Davis struggled. Don't know if Dean did anything bad. I just didn't hear nothing out of it.
So can Stetson Bennett go, see if they run 60 plays. Stetson Bennett will have to go for like 35 for 45, no picks, and 5 touchdowns.
They're going to have to run.
How is that going to happen? And Zamir White, Zeus, and them. I mean, is he going to have a breakout game? And are they going to run on Bama?
Cook
going to run for 200?
I'd say they need to. I mean, they could run for 200 as a team.
Yeah,
but I would say more like 150.
We're trying to give. It sounds stupid. We're trying to show how Georgia can win this game.
They'll need 400 yards. They'll need 250 passes.
More than that. They better get 350. They're going to need a 500 off every game. Go back to what you explained earlier. Those scores, how many yards Ole Miss dump on us that game? Like 600?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
What Trevor Lawrence dumped on us that night? Like 550?
Yeah,
I mean, Skip and them was just blowing up. Saving his defense gives up 795 yards. I mean, all the games we lose, we give up a bunch of yards through the air. Can it happen? Yes. I'm just not sold. I mean, you're talking about Bennett to go 35 for 45 and throw 4 touchdowns. Like maybe they'll run 1 in, or maybe they run 2 in. We hadn't seen it from him, so I just can't go on and to assume that he's going to have some.
Unless he just plays out of his mind. All I can say. He
has one of those magical Calzada, Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Bo Wallace, Ezekiel Elliott, just wow.
Yeah, he could. I mean, but
History says no. And we're both history guys.
Yeah.
I can't see him throwing he's going to have to throw a touchdown every quarter. Mm-hmm. Yes? I mean, is that about right?
Yeah, he'd have to throw 3 at least. No picks. He don't need to throw any picks.
None. I just can't see him not throwing not one. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say him and Bryce both has a pick. I'm gonna say they get after Bryce.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get after him.
They're gonna get after him tomorrow night.
I don't know how.
They're gonna pressure him into some bad situations. Do you think they're gonna just walk everybody up and try to play the run for Robinson, and they're just gonna try to lock down the guys? Or are they gonna play a safety over top and try to cover double Williams? What do you think?
Double Williams, and then just if the other guys beat him, they beat him. Talking about Ja'Cory Brooks or Slade Bolden. Whoever. You
think they can go try to get into a cover 2 maybe where they can?
I don't know. Nah, he'd pick apart a cover 2. I would think, wouldn't he? I don't know. I don't know how they'll play it. I just figured they'll have somebody over the top, somebody isolated on Williams, and somebody helping out.
So
you can't cover Williams 1-on-1, and then just come after Young and make these guys.
Make him try to scramble and get out of the pocket.
Make Bolden and Brooks beat him.
He can handle that now. He can run.
Billingsley and Latu.
Now that's what I wanted to say earlier. I like Latu. I think Latu and Brooks has games tomorrow. Pay attention to those 2 guys. Mm-hmm. Latu, I think he's going to be used in this offense. So this is O'Brien's last game. I think he takes the job at Jacksonville. Okay. Saban goes out and gets another offense coordinator. I don't know who we're going to get. Maybe we'll talk about that next week, who we think is going to be the new old coach at Bama. I think Latu's going to be part of the game. I think we're going to come out and try to run the ball. And Georgia's going to know that we're going to try to come out and run the ball because we run it so well against Cincinnati. But we run the ball so well against Cincinnati because they play a 3-3 stack defense.
Yeah.
And
we don't.
Coach just decided Ray Finkel, Laura Seinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. I can't help it. Every time I hear that name. They just decided not to change and get out of that defense.
They never did. Yeah.
No. So if it's working, just do it. We didn't have to throw the ball right. Alabama's just being one-dimensional. They got receivers hurt, and that's why they couldn't throw to them. No, it's not. It's not. No, you don't have to.
And everybody was getting on O'Brien. He tried to throw some, I think, to make it.
Just to keep it even. It's the only reason he even threw because we didn't need to. Now
he didn't want to work Robinson to death. I mean, he gave him the ball 40 times.
But Robinson's not going to have 200 against Georgia.
I wouldn't think
so. So I'm going to think they're going to come out and they're going to play some tight end action out there. I think they're going to run Robinson a little bit and see how the game plan works out. I'm excited about the game. I don't think Stetson Bennett can have a touchdown in every quarter to keep the game close. I think Bryce Young is the better player on the entire football field. I think he's the difference maker. And I think this defense, Alabama, Will Anderson, those guys, Harris and them, I think they play a little chip on their shoulder. They keep saying they feel disrespected. And now you pick Georgia. You talking about yummy rat poison, like Saban said. He said, I thought it was yummy. You're just feeding these guys. Saban is in that locker room right now telling them they don't respect you. Look, they don't even pick y'all to win this game. Y'all are a joke. You're just firing these guys up more. Their hair's going to be on fire. I think they come out by the second quarter. They'll calm down. The defense will get into recollection a little bit. And that offensive line of Georgia, I can just tell you, they better be ready. That's going to be the difference maker. Up front, Georgia offensive line, be ready. Stetson Bennett, be ready to scramble around. And don't be surprised. Here's another take. Latu for offense, Alabama. Here's my offensive take for Georgia. Don't be surprised if Stetson Bennett rushes for 100 yards.
They do. He can run the ball.
Don't be surprised.
That may be a cliff note on the side there that Georgia can use. You got to run Zeus and them a little bit and try to get the ease up on the play action and bust one downfield or something. Hit Pickens up the sideline. You catch one of those new corners taking a nap over there, looking at the cheerleaders or something. So watch for Bennett to run. Watch for Latu in action. On defense, who do you like on defense for a standout, a difference maker for Bama and Georgia?
I would think Battle and Helms, the safeties. I think they're very good. They play the run good and they play the pass good. And, he has a tough time with them. They both had interceptions against him. Battle run his back all the way. And I don't know. Kool-Aid's going to have a good game too.
Oh, boy.
Because they're going to test him.
Yep.
I would think both corners, both corners, because Job's out, and I think they're gonna for Georgia defensively. I think the key is whoever they got covering Williams. I don't know what they're gonna do.
All right, so Bama offense, I got Latu making some catches. I think he's going to be part of it. He's going to be part of this game plan. I think it's going to be a little bit different. And I'm telling you, I look for Stetson Bennett to have 100 yards rushing the ball. Look for Bennett to rush a little bit. I think that's a little side note there. I think that's a clip that they're going to kind of add. And I think that's going to be part of this offense for both teams that we didn't see last time, that both these coaches are going to lay out. And who did you like?
I like
for defense?
For Alabama's safeties.
Bama's, I think they're going
to. I think they're the key. They set the defense up. I mean, they're good. And,
Kool-Aid's going to have to pay attention.
He's going to have a good game.
He's going to have to play good.
He's a key player.
If if he plays bad, Bama may lose this one.
Yes.
All right, and then for Georgia defense.
Just whoever they're going to have locked on Williams. Well, actually, no, the rest of the DBs. Let me change that.
Georgia defense.
Not whoever's locked on Williams. They'll be fine.
Not.
The rest of the secondary. The secondary covering the rest of.
Covering Brooks,
Latu. That may be a linebacker.
Bolden.
Their coverage outside of Williams. That's the key to Alabama's, to Georgia's defense to me.
Not who's on Williams, okay.
No, because he's probably going to get stopped, wouldn't you imagine? To a certain extent. I mean, Cincinnati stopped him. He caught 7 passes for 62 yards. That's stopping him. You just don't want him to have 7 catches for 162 yards. You don't want to give up that 68-yard bomb. I think Georgia's going to.
I think they're going to hit them with one.
No, they'll try it for sure.
They're going to hit Georgia with at least 2 of them. It's going to happen probably. They may hit it 3 or 4 times, but it won't happen but once or twice.
But I will say that I think the key for Georgia's defense is how they cover Bolden, Brooks, and the tight end.
Now, we can also, remember, guys, Devontae Smith wound up winning a Heisman a few years later. Remember, Tua hooks up with him.
Oh, I know.
He's a freshman.
Yeah.
So you just never know. So our last little take on that, I'll add this. A standout player for us to maybe stand out. I'll say my standout, I'm going to say Brooks.
Yeah.
For Bama.
Yeah.
Who would be your standout? It could be anybody.
For Bama?
Anybody. Georgia, Bama, just somebody that after the game, we're going to go, well, we didn't really think about him.
I'm going to go with James Cook. Because, Matt, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Big time. That's their other running back for Georgia.
Yeah. He plays mirror to Zeus and them.
Yes. Don't run it a whole lot, but he's tough. I think he's going to be I think he's going to keep them in it.
So that's our standouts. I think Brooks is going to have a good game for Bama. I think he's going to shine, and maybe not, but he won't be your player of the game.
Right.
But he may have
somebody to
6 catches for 100 yards, or 8 catches for 100.
Yeah, I think Cook will do. I think Cook can catch out of the backfield. Bowers. I mean, they're going to try to stop Bowers, but Cook, I think they're going to throw to him.
So if you thinking they're going to adjust, Saban them Golden adjust to lock down old Bowers, the California kid, and once they do, they can cook these little wheel routes out here and these little screens to Cook.
He caught a 70-yard touchdown against Alabama last year.
So look for Cook for Georgia to catch wheels and screens out of the backfield tomorrow. Remember, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't doubt. He had 3 catches for 100 yards against Michigan.
Michigan, what a terrible team. How terrible is Big Ten?
I don't know
what a joke. They're just not good. I never heard of Dodger Boy or Hutchinson's name all night, and they run right at both of them all night.
I know.
Run right at them.
Still going number 1 in the draft.
Every time the Big Ten shows up with a guy, who was the big tall kid with the blondish color hair and the cornrows, went to the Heisman pick last year from Ohio State.
Oh, Chase Young.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Every time they had like 2 or 3 big games that year. Every big game you never heard from him. Yeah. Same with Hutchinson. And these big games against Ohio State, he had a good game. Iowa, I hope he had a good game. It's Iowa. They're terrible.
Yeah, he did.
But he was a no-show.
No, he had 3 sacks against Ohio State.
No-show against Georgia. I mean, he had to feel bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to drown on the Big Ten no more. They're already in their own sorrows and worries. And I'll leave it with this about the Big Ten. Look forward to Ohio State having a good year next year, because those kids they got that played in the Rose Bowl, and very admirable guys to play the game and not be a quitter like your other teammates. And hats off to the Jigba, had a fantastic game.
350 yards.
And they're going to get a lot of these guys back. Stroud's going to be back.
Oh, I know. They're going to be tough.
Ohio State next year, they should be in this thing. They'll be right there. I don't look for Michigan to. My camera went off. Anyway, I look for Michigan to maybe not be as good. Harbaugh may even have another job on the way, Dean. We don't know.
He could be. Yeah, I've heard that.
Our camera died, so
I guess we're getting done.
Yeah, that's. But we're still kicking with Bama. I'm not going to pick a score in the game.
I'm just going to say Bama wins by less than a touchdown or less.
Well, we think Bama's, probably they're Georgia's favored by 3.
I just can't pick against them.
I just don't see Stetson Bennett driving the ball down the field. I just don't see him scoring 5 touchdowns each quarter, driving the ball, and then maybe have another score late. Somewhere.
Unless their defense steps up and holds Alabama to nothing, and he only has to score 3 touchdowns. I don't know.
Dean, you can say it again. It's going to take, and we'll get off here with this, it's going to take, the only way Georgia wins this game, and I confer with my partner here, a punt block for Georgia touchdown, a Bama scores, and then they kick to Georgia, and somebody's out of position. Georgia scores on a kickoff and ties it right back up, like makes it 21-21.
Pick six.
Or maybe a pick 6, and that don't hardly ever happen against Alabama. No. Now it could, but it will take those kind of things.
Or a fumble they pick up.
Bryce takes off with the ball up the sideline. Nakobe comes across and swats the ball out of Bryce's hand. It hits just right.
Which that don't usually happen. It usually lands where Bryce Young can
get it back. That was wild.
Yeah.
And Georgia scoops it up and runs down the sideline 40 yards and scores off a swatted ball and makes it 21-14. They go ahead. They got all this momentum. It's the third quarter. We're trying to lay out a scenario to show you how Georgia could win this game. Now, if nothing weird happens, if it's just throwing and we're just both teams are going to run about 70 plays. Bryce is going to throw the ball about 40 times. Bennett's going to throw the ball about 30. And they're both going to rush for 100.5 or so. We like Bama to win this game.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys.
I think so.
We broke it down. We broke it down every which way we can.
I've seen it too much, so no, I can't pick against it.
We'll be. I may be on tomorrow. I may come on here live during the game and chit chat a little bit. Dean's got a basketball game with his kids.
Yeah, we got a makeup game.
So that's unfortunate, but he'll be in maybe halftime. We may get in halftime and get it in. So guys, it's been another good year. We started the year off with a big bang. We're going to see who your 2021 champs are going to be.
Yes, sir.
Bama or Georgia. Thank y'all guys for tuning in, and we love you and appreciate it. And
yes, sir.
We'll catch y'all next time. All right, how about that?
All right, peace out.
Yeah, bros. Keep your heads clear.